Everything I'm about to read is on that webpage PDF that I just posted. I don't have a link in bio though, so you're going to have to type it in to a search engine or something. But I'm going to read some of it to you. In section 3, this section basically just lays out a bunch of reasons that could be argued for anything so that they can always have a lawful suspicion of anything that they want to investigate for safety. It's a pretty long section that basically just gives them permission to look into anything that they want to. So that does give them the go-ahead to look at iMessaging, phone calls, emails, Microsoft, Zoom, anything, as long as it's related to the internet. Section 5 lays out the things that they will consider to go over to potentially ban. This includes things like wireless area networks, mobile networks, wireless access points, internet housing services, content delivery services, desktop applications, payment applications, any other web-based applications. And at the bottom, really hidden in section 3, part 7K, it's the very last one. They were really slick with this one, slipping it into a section that's not really related to this. So I said, the top ones of section 7 of section 5 are like, yeah, those could be scary, and it would make sense for the government to have the ability to look into things from private companies who are producing advanced robots, AIs, and using scary words like quantum communication, which is basically just super secure communication that uses the laws of physics and protons of light to protect messages. So like those things kind of make sense. But the very last one reads, e-commerce technology services, including any electronic techniques for accomplishing business transactions, online retail, internet-enabled logistics, internet-enabled payment technology, small businesses, and online marketplaces. More small businesses. What would all this do for them if they could make it really hard to have a small business? Where are they going to go? Back into the corporate world where they can continue to exploit us and use us to line their pockets with more money. Section 8 basically just gives the secretary the ability to do anything that they want to get specific information once they've decided to go after anything electronically related. This is the U.S. Secretary of State who's appointed by the president. We don't even elect them. And conveniently, there's not really any information on how long the secretary is in his position. I couldn't find it, so someone please let me know. It uses a lot of words and terminology like the procedures as the secretary considers appropriate. It's like, who's double-checking the secretary here? It then additionally gives him the ability to make a advisory committee, which is not, there's no checks and balances on this committee. It doesn't even by law require him to have equal members of the committee on each sides of any issue. And in Chapter 10 of Part 1 of Title 5 of the United States Code, which this bill is excluded from, it would put a lot of checks and balances on this committee. It would require there to be open communication. But in one line, it says, Chapter 10 of Part 1 of Title 5 of the United States Code shall not apply to any meeting of such an advisory committee for this bill. Which basically just means they don't have to put anything in writing. They can do meetings without alerting the public, and the public is not allowed to attend even if they want to. That's the second PDF that I did a big breakdown on. Section 10 says that officers and employees can conduct investigations, and they can require, inspect, and obtain books, records, and any other information from any person subject to the provisions of this act. They can take anything they want from you to prove their point. Section 11 goes into how, if you go against anything that they decide, like if they ban TikTok, for example, you cannot aid anyone in accessing it. If you access it, then you can be fined up to $1 million and 20 years in jail, or both. You can't aid anyone else or even get together with anyone else. What else? If you directly or indirectly spread any misleading or false information or representation about any of this, that is also illegal. So if you say anything other than the narrative that they're trying to push, they could argue that you're posting or promoting misleading or false information, and you are also risking the $1 million fine, especially since you were willing and knowingly doing it, and 20 years in jail. It is up to $1 million, but still. You may also have to give any property, real or personal, tangible or intangible, and it is subject to forfeiture to the United States. That's in Section 11. I don't know if I said that. Section 12 says that any actions taken by the president or the secretary will not have to go under administrative review or judicial review in any federal court. That is unless the aggrieved person, so the person that they're harming, in less than 60 days takes action and petitions for a review in the United States Court of Appeals. But when has anything ever gone quickly enough like that in the government? Because I doubt that they're going to alert them quickly, so that takes up time. And then when has anything gotten done in less than 60 days? Like, they're giving people no time. Section 13, relationship to other laws. It says limitations of the secretary, and the only limitations is that he cannot go after United States government industrial security programs or other national security or law enforcement requirement stuff. Convenient how they're only protecting the U.S. government from being reviewed. And finally, in Section 16, miscellaneous. Section 2, inapplicability of the FOIA, or the Freedom of Information Act. This means that they will not have to disclose anything that they don't want to about any proceedings that happen in accordance with this bill. Go read all my breakdowns. I am just blown away, and I have nothing to tell you to do other than call, email, mail. You need to be bombarding your representatives with the fact that you will be strongly opposing them for anyone else in the primaries. Make their life hard next year. Most of them run unopposed, but if they have people that they know will vote for them, they're going to have people who oppose them. You're going to make their life horrible, and it's going to cost them a lot of money, which is the whole point of this, is they want to keep their money. So threaten it. But as I said before, do it in a nice way, because it's a lot scarier to deal with someone who seems cool and collected. But bombard them. Give them too much so they can't handle it. In a nice way.